Hello, I'm CraftyAndy, and these are my thoughts. I really hate how a lot of online video commentary has boiled down to becoming podcasts or posting stream clips. We went from well thought out scripted skits and commentary to elongated segments that include all the stumbling of words and repeating the same shit over and over again. I get that's the price of a live show you can potentially interact with, assuming your schedule coincides with the streamers. But it's obvious a lot of them lack focus. Or worse, they just give up entirely and just play video games all the time in a live stream, making the chat a placeholder as a person to talk to, and milk whatever little fanfare they have left. I've seen almost half a dozen YouTubers do this. They make elaborate videos, either animations or commentary, well thought out, focused, driven subjects. And then they just turn into video game live stream channels. The other gripe I have is the topics a lot of these podcasts focus on. So many over-examinations of petty internet drama involving people who could only be interesting if they lit themselves on fire and jumped in a pool full of kerosene. There are a few exceptions to this, which I'll touch on later. The main point is comparing the overall landscape I witnessed compared to one of the only podcasts I've ever been able to keep up with, and that's Onion Nuggets. Also known as Deep Fat Fried, hosted by Scotty, Paul's Ego, and TJ Kirk. First off, when they cover events, they are events of consequence in regards to the news.
What's up?
Isn't there a question that you have failed to ask?
Okay, what is it?
Just how many Gaza citizens are entirely innocent, Scotty?
How innocent are they? I bet you that child might have stolen some cookies out of the cookie jar.
Which, granted, comes by suggestions from patrons, but we're not going over tabloid garbage. Like what YouTube personality said a dumb thing recently, but things that inspire serious discussions about things that are affecting many people's everyday life. The news can often be a potentially depressing subject as one bombards their eyeballs and ears with tragic tales of individuals and overall state of the world, but it doesn't come across into doomer territory, despite it being perceived that way by some of the audience. It generally gets more lighthearted with various articles of interest, crazy videos, and challenging the viewpoints of highly paid mouthpieces that spew the worst ideas to ever grace the planet.
Transgenderism must be eradicated from public life entirely.
I could never tolerate watching Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, or the rest on my own, but colorful, passionate commentary being spouted on the fly makes it bearable. It's nice to have someone yell at the internet for me so I don't have to. Which brings me to the other building trend I hate on this platform: corporate emulation. The Angry Nerd, Nostalgia Critic, and the rest grew in popularity due to the fact that when it came to media commentary, everyone on television that did it generally was squeaky clean. Never getting too worked up or swearing. No one talking like how me and all my friends talked about movies and video games. Nostalgia Critic and Angry Nerd were complete opposites of that. They said whatever the fuck they wanted. They made all kinds of edgy jokes. It didn't matter. It's something you never seen anywhere else until the internet came along. Now I see a lot of channels with very dry and matter-of-fact critiques with just little easily digestible jokes here and there. The scene sucks now. Where's the balls? I should be hearing about how watching this shit movie was like having your Aunt Becky fuck you in the ass using your dad as a strap-on, or how you'd rather slap your dick on a hot iron skillet and stab it with pencils than play another second of this shitty video game. Then when it comes to publicly debating ideas and things of actual consequence, it's as if after being called a slug-molesting sentient turd, they can't hear anything else being said. I just can't get over the fact that they were called a bad name for the sake of online entertainment. Now I can at least let creative name-calling and dismissive ad hominem attacks go if the debate can at least get hard-hitting. But how many of these large and growing podcasts or just individual streamers frustratingly treat all their guests with kid gloves for the sake of getting other prominent guests in the future? Onion Nuggets did a Andrew Tate gauntlet, and it was astounding how many podcast clips that went over where the hosts gave them, at best, the most tepid, limp dick counter talking points, if any at all, in response to the things that he was saying and accused of doing.
I'm Andrew Tate. Anyone you love is in perfect health. You're a selfish idiot. Get out of my office. Get some balls.
Bam.
He'd still be alive today. The cure made it worse. And this
Yeah, dude.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh, yeah,
So
dude.
not only are you a weak bitch if you're depressed, but you shouldn't go seek help. This guy's a real fucking winner. You ain't got to be no expert on mental illness to debunk 99% of what he's saying here. So fuck these, like that. These people are more destructive than him, in my opinion. These little facilitators.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, these
Oh,
little
yeah.
bobbleheads that like use their platform to legitimize this shit and just sit there
Dude.
because they know they're gonna rake in money because they got Andrew Tate on. So let's not, we don't want him to storm off or anything.
There should be montages of Elon Musk and the like walking out of interviews because they would rather call him on his bullshit instead of sucking his limp billionaire cock that probably got paid to come on the show anyways. That generally is the only negative I have of the show, is not having it on as many guests. But I'd rather it be that and commentating at video clips that other people made than to have a dick sucking contest whenever there is someone on. Ironically, the guests they've had on, such as Kyle Kalinske, Vosh, Demon Mama, Dylan Burns, come as actual discussions rather than debates, sharing and comparing ideas with similar desired outcomes in the end. It just comes to mind writing this up how amusing it would be to see Boogie298862 Fuck It come on there and be called out for his past antics and manipulation and grifting, but especially overpaid millionaire talking heads such as Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh. I know this other person that I don't watch called Destiny did a debate with Ben Shapiro, but I can only imagine how much he had to water down his questions in order to have that happen. Now you might be thinking, because I actually edit the streams into postable clips, that I have a bias. Well, I do, but I also had this planned before I was ever taken on as one of the editors. Hence this art piece being related to one of their special episodes, Kevin Sorbo versus Kirk Cameron. Being raised to be a Christian for my first 22 years of life led me to have a hate boner for religion that just won't ever go down, so naturally, this and their look into the satanic panic are some of my more early favorite episodes. Notice I didn't name other podcasts. It's not that everyone else is shit, I just feel one is doing it better despite less resources and production scope. Some other shows have in comparison, because there is some variety beyond just the podcast itself. Now when it comes to internet people drama, I generally couldn't give a shit less, with few exceptions, one being Brett Keane, which is why the next little art piece here is Brett Keane as a sunfish, in relation to one of the more recent segments I found to be one of the funniest of that year.
This unfortunate creature.
It's worse. It's unfortunate.
Unfortunate creature.
I get that it's a joke confined only within the circle involving fans of Deep Fat Fried and Drunken Peasants, so all I can say without going into another long essay is look him up and maybe you'll find yourself amused by his Keenisms as much as I am. Definitely a man that has a brain running on all four cinder blocks. There's no claim here being made that these guys are the authority on things. As it's touted, this is a show for the uneducated by the uneducated, which is pretty funny considering I don't remember any of them taking horse pace during the pandemic like one of the most popular podcast hosts did, nor having complete utter shit takes on trans people like overpaid millionaires do on the Daily Wire. That aside, there are plenty of hyper-focused podcasts by related experts in their field. This is about pure entertainment, and as this scene just starts overflowing with over 9,001 fucking podcasts emulating what everyone else has already done, making inside jokes only they would get referenced to, Deep Fat Fried Onion Nuggets is on top for me. These are just my thoughts though. Subscribe, like, comment me ideas and suggestions, Patreon for exclusive art and early videos, merchandise at the online store, check out the Weirdsaurus channel for weird furry shit, Pause Off for gaming skits and highlights from live streams that can be found on the Pause Off live channel. Work in Progress is streamed at the CraftyAndy channel. You heard what I said, now see it done.